You want to talk about rappers past their prime, or
Ooh.
People in general past their prime. We
okay?
got to stop expecting
Ooh.
greatness from people who ain't great no more.
Ooh.
Like every every rapper reaches their prime. You know, they hit their 3 album swing where it's like, all right, cool. You can see the ascension. Then they finally hit that album where they get their notoriety. They're on top of the world. And then most of the time, it's just downhill after that. It might not be super drastic. It could be a slow decline, but eventually it just falls off. Um, so I just take their rappers for their greatness when I fell in love with them, and anything you make after that, I don't really care about. Your legacy's already cemented. This is what you were. For Wayne, for instance, Wayne was my favorite rapper at one point. He was great. Legacy is cemented. He's one of the best. Anything he does after a certain point, after I guess Carter 3 was his peak. Anything after that, I mean,
That
it's
was the
not
start of
my
the
peak,
fall off.
but
But yeah,
yeah,
Yeah, it was definitely
yeah.
falling off at that point, in my opinion.
But that's when he had his most fame. So that's what I'm saying. After that, it's just over. After that, anything after Carter 3, I don't care. He can't. It can be the worst thing ever. It won't affect his legacy to me. And that's the same thing with sports. Like Tom Brady, even if he wins 3 more rings, like you're already won 7. What does he have? 7 right now, right? Yeah, 6 or 7. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
7 right now. Yeah. So anything else after that, like, dude, first of all, nobody's probably ever going to get to that number. That's insane in and of itself. Anything else you do is just icing on a cake. Is already your legacy is built already.
Yeah, but that
So
icing can make or break you, dog.
yeah.
No,
See,
he
Icing can
can't.
make or break. Yes, you can. You might not be able to be diminished dramatically from it, but what if? But what about? See, that's the thing. What you said was okay. He made his prime, but let me give you some examples. What about R. Kelly?
what about him?
Like,
I don't understand how
what
that is
about him?
relevant to this.
Please.
See, see,
Yeah.
he ruined his legacy. If you would have just paused time and held on to them first 5 albums or whatever, you'd have been like, he's the greatest in my generation R&B singer. But we know that this
Mm-hmm.
dude, his creepo shit got exposed. Now the nigga in jail, and now he got reduced legacy.
Okay,
It
yes.
can be
So, but
reduced
that's
from
The
different.
something
only
that's
thing
not
that
as
can hurt
drastic.
That's
your
different.
It don't
Okay,
have to be as drastic though.
but
It don't have to be the same type of thing as that.
yeah,
But other
that's a
people have
completely
had the
different
same type
issue.
of
That's a
stuff.
completely different issue. He okay. See that's I don't
you
like that
can do
argument
nothing
because
inside your field to
he yeah
But
exactly.
you
What diminished
can.
him? What
But you
diminished him was
can.
not something that was related to music. Okay,
Okay, so
his
let's pick
if
somebody in
had
your field then.
he let's say had he okay, this is the way I think about it, right? So like for the way we think about Biggie and Pop, they died in their prime, and so they're always remembered for their prime. I think
mm-hmm.
the thing I like about Bryson's take is that if we remembered everyone for their prime and compared everyone by their prime, we would have different opinions on different people. So what happens to a
Mm-hmm.
lot of legacy acts is we compare them just for what have you done for me lately? What is the last thing you did
Mm-hmm.
for me? And we'll say things like, "Oh, this person's trash now," or "That person's trash. That person fell off." But if we just compared one person's prime to another person's prime, then that legacy act might still be better than whoever you like now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the thing is, especially so you talking about music and music.
Mm-hmm.
What's the problem with falling off?
To me, there is none.
To fall off, you have to have been somebody that had somewhere to fall from in the first place. So like
It's a
Jigga,
fact.
who gets washed on all his songs now, to me, gets washed
Mm-hmm.
on every song. People act like he's so great. They hype up his verses. His verses got washed on the album by his wife.
Dang, yeah.
Non-rap.
We got to have a whole. Let's not get too into Jay Z because we'll have a whole episode dissing Jay Z too.
Nah, dude, stay getting washed. Man, got washed by Kanye, get washed by everybody. No, you know what? He did have better versions than Jay Electronica though, but on a lot of songs he getting washed. So let's say him. It doesn't matter because it is icing in his type of case. He
Mm-hmm.
can't ever really diminish himself too far. But
Mm-hmm.
like it's different than like a Wayne. Wayne thing was always volume anyway. So when Wayne comes out with bad stuff, we just like, oh well, it's just another Wayne tape. All of them ain't the greatest, but a lot of them were, and we keep it
Mm-hmm.
moving. But you can come out with something that's super trash, and people will be like, yo, what the hell are you doing out here? People be hating on Kanye now, all kinds of ways. And all he's ever done is had greatness. So now when he drops stuff, they say it's not as great. people diminish him. People say that he's crazy and all this type of stuff.
So
he want to make gospel music and shit.
This is all right. So this is what I was saying. So this is, I feel like the Kanye hate, or if you want to call it him getting hate, is for stuff outside of music. But when he dropped Donda, everyone was still going crazy. He was selling out, the stadium just for people to listen to, to him. But he's still going to sell out arenas and everything. Nothing is really diminished from his legacy. Everyone is still calling him the greatest producer.
People hated on Donda too. People hated on Ye.
Yeah.
And then Donda was better than those.
That's true.
That's why it was popular.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. If he makes something new, people are still gonna go check for it, and if it's good, they still gonna love it. And I don't think anything he does is going to take away his greatest producer, hip hop artist title.
Yeah, I mean, y'all right in that regard. I just think that some stuff can happen, and I think the longer you are in the spotlight and stuff like that, I think stuff happens that'll diminish even your old shit.
I feel like once you reach legendary status, you're probably stuck there because it's so hard to get there. Once you get there, it's like you can't fall from it. People regard you so high. Like Peyton Manning, no one talks about how he has he's a choker. He's terrible. But in his last season, he got carried by one of the greatest defenses of all time.
I feel like if people ain't talking about it, I will. That's what I'm here for.
We definitely,
exactly. I will too, but no one else says that.
And Brett Favre gifted the Saints the Super Bowl title, and so I'll let them know.
But see, that's the thing. So those people you just named, I feel like are people who are remembered for their heights, for their good moments, not remembered for their bad moments. And I think that's what we're talking about. People remember for their
riding these white quarterbacks, man. Let's be for real what it is, man. We talked about this already with Aaron Rodgers. These white folks love to ride these white quarterbacks, man.
But
they act like they're so great because you know why? Because the NFL ain't nothing but Negroes. You got a few good white players that's great. The rest of them is black dudes, and what they do is, but Aaron Rodgers ride on them dudes because they don't want to say the real shit is. When he won something, it was because all these other players on the field that was beasts. And why he keep losing is because of him. He's the choke artist. He's the one who can't.
He's choking.
But when he gets the opportunity, they put credit to him and they put blame somewhere else. Just like Brett Favre. When Brett Favre lost in the playoffs all the time, when he lost with who was he with before he went when he was with the Packers, and they played the Giants that year in the playoffs, and he threw that stupid ass pick six, and they want to go ahead and try to blame other people, and now how stupid this motherfucker is. That's why he out here defrauding motherfuckers in Mississippi right now. Dude, dirty.
But there you go. So he's remembered for his good moments, though. Those people are remembered for their good moments, and I agree with you. It is about the white quarterback thing because the second Lamar Jackson out for a year, and then now people taking him off the top 5 quarterbacks and stuff like that. Diminishing him.
Not even out for a year. Dude was out for like what? Was he out the whole season? Half the season?
Not even the whole season. Not even the whole season. But he didn't have as good of a season as the previous season. And now people act like he's not, who he is.
No. The worst shit is they act like Justin Herbert is like way beyond him. And I'm
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
Not a fucking thing.
I agree.
Not a thing. And then same for Russell Wilson. I feel like people, want to downplay what he's done. All this type of stuff. All the black quarterbacks are remembered for. It's just what you did lately, what you did last, right? That's what you're worth. But the white quarterbacks, it's like, oh man, they just remember for their prime, like you said. They just remember for their good highlight moments, and so
okay. But I can take it to a different sport. Let's go to golf. Let's Tiger Woods. Everyone still look forward to him every time he golfs, even though he's been terrible for. I know, I agree, but he still sells the most tickets. He's still legendary status. He still gets that respect and that coverage, even though we're 95% sure he's probably never going to make the cut again. But he's still going to get that respect.
I think that's a lack of.
He did stupid shit off the court and fucked his whole body up. I mean, it's not a fall off really. Like if he didn't get all them injuries, and we talking about like a lot of that was because of him. Like he was on field, ran into shit. What he did? Fell asleep last time. Drove off the highway on a mountain.
I mean,
Yeah.
that still all counts as regardless. It was still stuff that led to his fall off, but that still counts as a fall off. But my thing is that there's just no other star like Tiger Woods to replace him. That's the thing. If there was somebody, in the NBA, they do a good job of, one star retires. There's another. There are more stars. They do a good job of like bringing up multiple stars. There's other people to carry the
face
league.
Of the league.
Be the face of the league. Jordan's gone. There's somebody else to take his place.
It's
golf. But with golf, it was no one cares. Exactly. No one cares about golf. No one cared
before. No one gonna care after.
People only cared about golf because of Tiger Woods. And so those people are fans of Tiger Woods, not the sport. They don't care about golf.
Exactly.
They don't want to watch golf.
Exactly.
I think that's
they
the
care about a young black dude out here getting in this white man sport, old man sport, and so cool. But like, I don't watch that shit. If Tiger Woods ain't about nothing, like I don't watch that shit.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I just think once you reach your peak and you get to legendary status while you're at your peak, then you're probably a legend forever. And after that, it don't matter. You reached it. You're great. This is all we're going to remember you by. That's the way I see it. So I don't judge any of my music artists, any of my favorite sports figures the same. Like, even Dirk, he stayed around forever. Like, they basically had to kick him out of the league. Like, you're old. Get out. Mavericks don't want you.
No, that's not the same. Dirk never could fall off.
Yeah, no.
But he's the only one that didn't ride and hide and try to run and go to another team like a bitch, like Kevin Durant.
Yeah, he beat a legendary squad, the quote unquote GOAT from people like you.
Yeah, remember how he was riding for them, Bryson? Remember how he was on
so if you beat the GOAT, that makes you. What does that make you? If you beat the GOAT, what does it make you?
Yeah.
I don't know. Ask anybody who's ever beaten the GOATs. It happens all the time.
No.
Tom Brady's lost in multiple Super Bowls.
To Eli. Eli is the kryptonite. That makes him goated.
To Nick Foles.
Mm-hmm. Also Nick Foles too.
Nick Foles also goated. He's a legend. That man is a legend.
Best backup quarterback of all time.
That's what happens. It just be like that sometimes, man.
So Dirk's legacy is cemented. It'll never change.
I think once you reach legendary status, you always are, man. You can't fall from Mount Olympus.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not a. See, the thing is, like, Dirk never had a. When did he have a chance to get criticism for falling off? Like, see, it's not the same for everybody. So we talked about, you talk about somebody that had a career that's amazing. It's like, nah, people said Nas was done. Nas came back, started dropping more albums. And shit's been good. So he's elevated his status, in my opinion, far beyond many other people. Instead of saying, if he came out with some shit where he was like, I don't know, if he rapped like The Game or somebody, and people were like, yo, what is this dude doing? And then it would diminish him, I think. I think people would be like, yo, he made Illmatic, that's great. But remember he made that trash shit?
I don't think so.
This is what I want to ask. So how much when you talk about your legacy as a whole, okay, whether it's sports, if you have, a great season, and then you have a bad season, or so I think it's the difference between quantity versus quality. Like, I think that's kind of the argument we're having. Like, how many great albums, say for instance, do you need to have to cement yourself as a legend and to stop? Right. For instance, people criticize Andre 3000.
How good they are.
Okay, people criticize Andre 3000 because he's never made a solo. He doesn't, rap, but he made. I would say 5 super quality, Outkast albums, or 6 actually, and then now he sat down. Is that not enough? Why is that not enough? It's like, that's the thing. Now people diminish his legacy because he.
Depends. Yes, he diminished his legacy because he has not put out a solo body of work, and normally we are arguing solo MCs, so it works that way. But think about Drew Brees. Drew Brees, man, love the guy, but he diminished his legacy by choking in the playoffs every year on his way out.
He still had great statistical seasons, though.
That's great. You choked on your way out every single season.
I think that's just to us because
and
we're
I hear you, and
super critical
I do
fans.
take it like that. I do think he diminishes his legacy because of choking. So you think if he had retired 2 years before, you would think more highly of him than if he had kept choking?
2 years before when off of a choke. If you go out off a choke, you gotta.
So let's say he
you gotta come
retired
back
the
in.
year that we got robbed by the Rams, but we got robbed by the NFL. Say he retired that year. 'Cause that wasn't his fault.
Hard
Really.
to go out that year. Yeah, it's hard to go out that year. I see why he wouldn't go out that year. That's a robbery. That's the biggest robbery in the history of the NFL.
It is.
It is.
So it was the year before that with the Minnesota Miracle, right?
Yeah.
Or was it?
Yes.
Yeah. So okay. So I mean, what if he retired that year?
He should have retired the year after actually, he should have retired the robbery game because it was his fault. He threw a pick in overtime. We still could have won that
But
game.
it
He
shouldn't have
threw a
gone
pick
to
in
overtime.
overtime.
But it shouldn't have gone over.
It shouldn't have, but it don't matter. It don't matter.
So
That's
you
not the
you
point.
feel like his
But a lot
legacy
of
was diminished
sports,
already,
especially
from that point.
football, is emotional, and if you commit the biggest robbery in the history of the NFL, you wave
Look,
refs
man.
off from throwing flags. That's gonna change the momentum in the game. That's gonna change the players. The players not focused. That's gonna mess with you. So look, I hear what you're saying, and we can blame it on them. But that it's easy to say, oh, they just got to get over it. But I wasn't over. I'm not over it now.
No.
Not over it either. No, for sure. But
So how can you be over
as
it
a
in that moment?
competitor, that's what makes you great.
So
That's
the
the decline to me.
So
That's
still,
the decline to me.
I'm just trying to figure out when should he have? What year was it that discredited him? I mean, was it losing to Brady? Was it losing to? I mean, so
It was terrible. That was unforgivable.
That was
terrible in that game.
So that was just the
Brady was
last
bad in
year
the
before
game
he
too. That's the thing
retired.
that made it so frustrating.
But that was so. So if he had retired 1 year earlier, his legacy wouldn't be diminished. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know, man. I mean, now I can't even think
yeah.
about it, dog. I had to
Because no. 2016 was the Rams year. 2017 was
They
the
choked
what
to the-
happened
what's it
in the
called?
playoff. To
Yeah,
49ers,
Vikings.
right?
The Vikings.
Was
yeah,
it the
that's
Vikings?
the Minnesota Miracle, right?
Yeah.
No, that was the year. Minnesota Miracle was before the Rams thing.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
It was the year
2017.
before.
2017.
So then the Rams thing
2018.
happened. And then when did the 49ers game happen? Was that the year? Or did we lose?
So
That wasn't a
19,
playoff
they
game
lost to
when
the
we lost
Vikings
to them?
again. 19, they lost to the Vikings.
Oh, man.
That was a game where Taysom Hill was balling, and they looked.
Oh
they
yeah,
looked good
and
on
he
him.
did.
He
It was
looked
on
good.
Breeze. It was on Breeze.
Didn't look good. Yeah.
That Breeze did. That
I
was the
remember
game
that
that
one.
diminished his legacy. That's the biggest one that diminished his
That was
legacy.
That was the first one.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins
I don't
came in your
remember that
house
one.
and played you.
So
And then,
okay.
and then you came back like, oh, that was a fluke. Okay, cool. And then you go to Brady Place. Y'all beat him twice. You go up to his. He come to the dome, but there ain't no fans there, so that's kind of a. And then choke game.
Mhm.
Well, that one actually frustrates
a lot
me
of
more.
you, but also with what's his face, fuck face head ass nigga that we got rid of.
Who?
I don't know. He always had them weird looking face when he sold out. Big ass tight end who fumbled. Bitch ass nigga.
Oh, Jared Cook?
Yeah, fuck that nigga, man.
Nah, bro.
Life,
Come on,
dog.
man.
So
What?
all right.
Tom
So
Brady throws you 3 picks. Their offense was non-existent. It was only because
Non-existent.
Breeze kept
Exactly.
throwing picks.
yeah.
It was that's
Yeah.
unforgivable. That was worse
So
than the Rams game to me.
that yeah. So
That's
that
what I'm
is
saying.
the game
That's
that
what I'm
diminishes
saying.
legacy. So okay. So all right. So now we find a spot. So if he had retired the year before that, then
He wouldn't be as diminished. He'd still be diminished because he went out. They went out like a bitch against the Vikings.
No. What's what I'm saying? But before that, before the Vikings, you mean?
So you saying he'd go out on the Rams, Robert?
Yeah.
What I'll say, he should have went out personally.
If he went out there, then we would have a better opinion of him, I think. But at the same time, that's a bad way to
Yeah,
go
you
out.
kind of would leave a nasty taste in your mouth.
I
Like,
don't.
dang,
Oh
he couldn't
man,
even come back.
nasty taste. No way could you go out on him. No competitor that could still play is going out on him.
So this is my thing. So is there a good way to go out for sports, especially for sports? Is there a good way to go out? Because I mean, even like for instance,
Ray Lewis did it. That's why he goated.
yeah, okay, you went on a
He's a
Super Bowl.
fucking
Go out on
nerd.
the Super Bowl.
Elway did it.
Go out on the Super Bowl is what you're saying. I mean, okay. So even Peyton Manning did that, but then we all say, "Oh, he got carried." He got carried.
No, we say that. Not everyone says that. We say that.
Okay, so
Everybody don't say that.
The best way to go out is on a Super Bowl. But the thing is, not everyone wins a Super Bowl. Breeze was trying to go out on the Super Bowl. He kept coming back to win.
No, you're right. Because Breeze got fucked over. Okay, we know the NFL hate the Saints. They had the fixers in for the Rams thing, man. We know they wanted to help their owner out, the guy Kroenke. He's a fucking asshole. That's why he got to pay St. Louis $1 billion because he's a damn asshole, liar, and asshole. So they had to help him out. You know, they set it up. The team going to LA, all that bullshit. They were playing in the fucking parking lot, shitty ass stadium, old ass Coliseum, and so of course they want to help him out, and that's why the fix was in to get them dudes in the Super Bowl, build their fan base. The fans ain't in LA like that, messing with the Rams. So they had to be done. You knew they had to screw over the Saints. We've seen them screw over the Saints faces my whole life. So, you know, we knew it was going to happen, but to happen to Breeze, it hurt Breeze. It hurt Breeze's career. It hurt Breeze standing. To me, Breeze arguably had a GOAT argument.
Yeah.
If he would have won that Super
got all
Bowl
the stats. So that's the thing. If we hadn't gotten robbed,
if he won that shit, he would sit up there and be able to stand and say, "I'm GOATed."
Right. Definitely over Rodgers. I still take him over Rodgers, but I mean, he would. It would be obvious, clear. That,
I think Rodgers is overhyped. I don't think Rodgers is top two. Man.
Oh, I agree, but I'm just saying that at that point, no one would be able to argue it if if that was the case. So my thing is
so perfect.
My thing is okay. So
11 was the best year when they choked.
So bring it back
that was a long time ago.
Yeah, to bring it back
heartbreaking.
To bring it back to the conversation, you said we should judge him for his prime. But it sounds like we're not doing that with. We just gave an example. We're not doing that with Breeze. We don't judge him for his prime. We're not gonna.
It's not true.
He won us the only. Now, because some people do this. Some people say, "Oh, that
wasn't even his prime to me."
Never criticize
that wasn't his prime, no.
Because he won us the only Super Bowl. I mean,
Sean Payton was a bitch ass nigga who was trying to run from the Saints the whole time. All you Saints fans who keep riding for this dude, let this dude go. He tried to go to the Cowboys. Then he tried to go to the Dolphins, and y'all still up here talking about, ooh, we can't say nothing bad about him when he was going 7-9 in Drew Brees' real prime when they should have been about something because of Sean Payton. I don't want to hear that bullshit. They need to stop with some shit. Brees is a choker. Sean Payton is a choker. Shut the fuck up.
I agree. So my thing is, but this is a counter to what Bryson was saying about we should just take rappers. Okay. So is it different for sports and rappers? Is it a different thing for sports and rappers?
It's not at all. We're just more critical of most fans. Most fans aren't that critical of their team. So we're being hypercritical of these people.
They don't love their team.
We're the outliers. Yeah.
They're not fans. If they don't love their team, they're not fans that they sit up there and they're not critical.
But people aren't critical of things that they're fans of most of the time. That's not usually the way it works.
That's the only way.
I feel like.
Yeah, well, so that's obviously haters ball. That's the only way it works.
Dick riders. Yeah, you're talking about dick riders.
Yeah.
That's not fans. That's dick riders. Okay,
dick
riders say, "Oh, everything that they do is good. Everything that they say is great." That's herd shit. Terrible. Nobody does that unless that's not what real fans do. You would never do that for like your spouse or your kid. Be like, everything they do is great.
Yeah, that's called enabling. That's toxic. I mean, that's toxic behavior.
Yeah. I'll give them all my money, no matter what. Like, no, that's stupid.
I agree, but I do feel like most fans are enablers nowadays. Since you can pick everything that you want to see and do, it's very easy for you to pick someone that you agree with most of the time. So,
I mean, okay, so let's take this back to the hip hop because this is what a stand is what I hate. You know, again, that's why I want to talk about what about in music. Is it how badly do we take? How do we affect someone's legacy when they make a bad album? You make a classic album and then you make one bad album. How does that affect your legacy? How many?
Depends.
So how many classes do you need?
You're right. It's not as big a deal. You're right. It's not as big a deal as it is. Because think about it. You can make a trash album and people just say, "Oh well, that one was trash," and then you go back and play your old one. In sports, it's like, you know, you get so many chances, and once your chances are gone, they're gone. In hip hop, we've seen it. Like, look, there's people that's legends that this year dropped albums. KRS-One dropped the album this year I was like, damn, this shit is way better than I expected.
Yeah.
So,
but people don't talk about it. People don't talk about the Legacy X like that. He don't get played like that. No one talks about.
Well, I mean, that's all based on marketing and schemes. And if he came out here and dissed Eminem, had 35 rappers on his album, maybe he'd get some talk about that. Instead, he has to do some. He just makes hip hop, and it's very traditional. He's talking about doing old school dances in the songs, like in one of the songs on his album that have on YouTube or they got a video for it. So that's not surprising. But at that point, when you're a legacy act, you're making songs for your core fan. You making songs for your fans that've been around that still like your shit, that still pay to go to your shows, even if you're not Mr. Headline.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't think it should affect anyone negatively when they make a bad album? You should only count someone's classics. Should we rate rappers by how many classics they have?
Well, that's normally how we do it. I mean, we do it by classics, hits, different things like that. Other contributions, maybe. That's why people like Ice Cube are still held in high regard. Chuck D is still held in high regard. And you're right, like Chuck D got a lot of albums. People still say, "Hey, Take the Nation of Millions, the whole other back, nigga." That's gonna win an argument. Unless you're some stupid ass 12-year-old that don't know who's hip hop. But as far as the his legacy, it can't really be diminished.
It's all quantifiable. Like I said on our other podcasts, greatness is quantifiable to me. It just depends on what you want to set your sliders to, but time matters, body of work matters, consistency matters. Like, these are things that matter to be great. You have to keep showing up over a long period of time to be considered great. Mm-hmm. The same thing. That's why I'm mad at the Lamar.
That's my thing. That's not true. That's not what we consider great.
How is it not true?
The long period of time thing. So the long period of time thing does matter in sports, but in hip hop, we have historically not done it that way. For instance,
just earlier was capable saying game has the classic, so who cares about X, Y, and Z?
And then not just that, but we have people who have died in their prime, and because they had a short run, we hold them the highest, not lower because they had a short career.
Dying keeps it so you don't have a chance to fall off. I mean, like Sean Taylor, he died, one of the greatest players I ever saw in my life. Dude was amazing at safety. He died. People gonna hold him high. We gonna remember him. But
we don't. But do people talk about him as one of the greatest of all time?
Yes.
They love Sean Taylor. Yeah,
Sean Taylor forever.
Or what about like Grant Hill?
Grant Hill got hurt. People love Grant Hill,
but he's not in in top all time conversations.
KB,
because he had a short career.
Right, but it's not. It's not the same. He got injured, and then he continued to have a good career. He just couldn't have the same career.
He was never the same player. That's not his
right, but that's because of an injury. So his career.
There is no injury in music, unless you're like the DOC and lose your voice.
Well, death in music, death is. I mean, or like you said, with DOC.
And injury are not the same, because if you die in sports, you die in music, you're forever held. Right. There's just no injury in music. I mean, that's just the way it is.
So how is that fair? How's that fair? So if I die, I'll be immortalized. But if I just get injured and I'm not the same. The premise of this topic was we judge people by their prime. So if I'm just judged by my prime, we judge Grant Hill by his prime, and we related his prime to other people's prime. How would it? He would be considered one of the greatest.
So comparing him to other people's prime is different, because the thing with the sports arguments always come down to, like, let's argue stuff, let's argue stats, let's argue chips, let's argue this.
So you could take the season, the best statistical season.
Okay, so that's what you could do. You could do that. That's the only way you could do it. If your best statistical season is only 2 seasons and somebody else had 20, it's hard to be like, hey, he's better. But really, was he better? Like, I don't know.
Injury matters. That's a part of the game. Like, if you're injury prone, then you get knocked for that. Like,
yeah, but prone is different than getting hit one time with one bad one.
Yes, of course it is, but you still got injured. I mean, like, I'm sorry. I'm sure you would have been a great player, but that's just the way the dice rolled, and you got unlucky. Like, it happens all the time.
All right, but what about, like, for instance, if LeBron retires with the, like scoring records or something like that, or if he, he's going to pass up Jordan in scoring, but only because he has more. I mean, no, but I'm saying, but he's going to pass Jordan, right?
He already passed Jordan.
Jordan. Okay, great. So
he's second,
he already passed Jordan.
He's behind Kareem. He's about to pass Kareem.
Yeah. So okay, that's what I mean. He already passed Jordan.
Pass Kareem or something like that.
Yeah. So he already passed Jordan. But I want to keep it to Jordan. So he already passed Jordan, but it's only because of the longer career, not because he's better in his prime than Jordan. So people again, using your topic, if we just judge by the prime, then we would say Jordan is a better scorer. Jordan was a better player. He had better seasons. But if people who want to say LeBron is better, they're going to say LeBron did it longer. LeBron is still doing it at the age of, whatever.
And
two different arguments.
And that's like I said, okay, so you're
that's why it goes in circles forever and never ends. Yeah.
No. When you get to greats, it becomes way smaller to the things that we're going to define. But you have to reach that legendary status in the first place. Like I said, once you become a legend, then we're going to debate you against legends. Of course, the margins are a lot thinner. But
this is why I feel like there should be one legendary. I feel like there should be one philosophy that you apply to everyone. It shouldn't change.
There's one philosophy. If once you've reached greatness, once we deem you great, you've passed all those other people. So all we can compare you to is greatness. We can't compare Grant Hill to greatness because he was never. He was great, but
Kevin Durant,
he was great. He was great. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Out of great.
Exactly. If Kevin Durant is considered great, why can't Grant Hill be considered great?
Kick him out.
Oh man.
This is. I'm just saying.
Be objective?
Okay, what about?
Though?
I'm being objective though.
No. What about
Tracy matters to me. Time matters.
What about? I mean, there's other people like. It's not just Grant Hill. Okay, what about people like Penny or
injured?
That's what I'm saying. There's multiple.
Penny reached greatness though, so people love Penny.
But people don't talk about him in the greatest of all time conversations
because he got hurt and his greatness, his prime got cut short.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But their prime got cut short. But if we judge just by the prime, then
you're comparing different things, though. What we're saying is, okay, when I say that once you do something great and anything after that doesn't matter, okay, you're great. And we're taking your prime. You've reached legendary status. We're comparing you to other legends. We're not talking, you're talking about like Lil Wayne compared to, I don't know who's cool now, but not great. I guess Rod Wave. I don't know. Kids love him, but he's not a great yet. He hasn't sold. He's not a headliner. He doesn't sell these records. He's not in that thing yet. I mean, he might be. I don't know anything about Rod Wave.
So what?
I don't know Rod Wave at all. So I don't know. He might be, but
this is the thing. This is why I keep asking these questions, because even like Steph Curry just won, and then the conversation is, is he top 10? So the thing is, what is it? And not to talk about the top 10 thing, but what is it that gets someone into this great club that you're talking about?
Okay, well, hold on.
You gotta have certain things to get in the door.
Yeah, so the great club starts lower than top 10.
Oh no, I know, but I'm just saying, what is the gate? Is what I'm saying. I know that's what I'm saying. I don't want to talk about the top 10.
It's different things. It's taking over. It's feeling. Mm-hmm. Depends on what we're talking about. We talking about music. We talking about ball.
I mean,
in ball, the greatest club. I mean, think like Allen Iverson never won no chip. Allen Iverson was that dude,
right? But so was Penny,
right?
And so was.
But he's not top 10. None of them are top 10. They're top 15.
But they're legends. Allen Iverson.
They're legends. Exactly. They're legends. Legends forever in the game of basketball. But they're not.
Yeah. Not on that same level, but like Penny, there is levels to it.
But that's my thing. Like you said with Death. I am conflicted about that because, say Steph, somehow after their 3-ring run when they had KD or whatever, if he passed away after that, I personally would not feel like he's a Hall of Famer because you just were great for 3 seasons only. But he
He'd
would
still
get
be a
in
Hall of
there
Famer.
deep down.
See,
First
he's
of all,
still be a Hall of
everybody
Famer.
I don't agree.
Yeah.
I don't agree.
He's-
I'm
NBA Hall of Fame let anybody in.
Yeah, they let anybody in.
Yes.
It's a low bar.
Yes.
to get in.
You're right.
in NBA Hall of Fame.
You're right, but I'm saying if it was,
But he wouldn't be. He wouldn't be on that. You don't think he would be in that top 75 list or whatever.
No, not at all.
Okay.
You had 3 great seasons, 2 scoring titles back to back. Never won a Finals MVP in those 3
But
years.
he had the 2. He
I'm
was
not
the
saying
unanimous
he's
MVP, 2-time MVP. I mean, he. Come on, man.
Cool, man. Like, hey, he probably would be on it because Steve Nash got on it, and Steve Nash has 2. But that Steve Nash has never got 2 MVPs either. But that's besides the point.
What you mean? Steve Nash had back-to-back MVPs.
Yeah, and he shouldn't have. But
Okay,
I mean,
he did.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So once you reach certain accolades, you're getting put in place, and no matter what, like you have the criteria, you're in the door. Whether
Steve
I
Nash
agree
was
that
that
you
dude.
should.
Okay, all right. So we talked about.
and
we
we saw
talked-
J-Mac over from me had big Steve Nash fat heads and stuff. I was like,
Yeah, exactly. I love Steve Nash. Steve Nash is great, but I mean, 2-time MVP Steve Nash is not what I agree with. But
All right, we talked about Russell Westbrook before, so he MVP, of the league, had great seasons. People were talking about him highly before. If we judge him by his prime, his legacy would be, but now his legacy is diminished because of his last season.
that's a good point. I always think about that. Like, how are we going to talk to our kids about Russell Westbrook? Like, he's going to come up in conversation.
Probably won't. Bro.
No, he definitely will come up in conversations. Triple-double king. I think he's going to come
let me
up.
down. I'm talking about how you let me down. That season when
I
he played
mean-
Dame in the playoffs and he backed Dame was owning.
Yeah, Dame was killing that dude.
Like, dang, dog. I felt bad for him. He was my favorite player before that.
He was.
Dame was killing that dude,
I was like, dang, you going out like that? And have to switch over to
Dame
Dame.
was
Yeah, that's what I switched over. That is the moment I switched over.
Yeah, game time shot on him too. 40 feet away. God damn.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So his greatness got diminished.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was looking at Nick Wright did his top 100 players of all time, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And he had Russell Westbrook pretty high up there, actually. Higher than I thought that a lot of people would have him. Like, he had him like 40 or something like that.
He had it like top 100 of the last 50 years, something like that, right?
Mm.
So he was able to kick some players out that's like legacy players to move to keep it more modern or whatever.
Man.
So that's
Don't
part
ask
of
me
that
about
thing.
legacy players.
Well,
Yeah.
I agree with you, but that's part of why he did it like that. I think you don't have to worry about a Bill Russell, because it happened a minute ago.
Yeah.
But
That's
Next topic.
But this is why just one last point. This is why I love. Okay, so in both hip hop
Hey, bro, they're not paying, bro.
and in what?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna keep it up like this.
In both hip hop and in sports, this is why I love that it's a they're competitive. So with any of these things, right? With any of these topics, in individual season, right? Or we talked about Dirk. We saw Dirk beat LeBron, show up and be a better player than LeBron in the finals in the moment that it matters. This is why I'll never consider LeBron the GOAT, because he's been outdone by Curry and KD and Dirk multiple times. So it's you see him in a head-to-head, him not be the greatest, right? That's what we're talking about. Him not being the dominating force. And in hip hop, I think the same thing. People get on the track, you rap together. When somebody like Game is getting bodied all over his album, I'm like, that's not a great rapper. But if somebody like is, even if their prime was years ago, you can hear them get on a track with some other great rappers, and you can see, man, look how they bodied this dude. Look how
Jay-Z has consistently gotten bodied throughout his whole career.
And this is why we will have an episode about Jay-Z, hating on Jay-Z, because I don't think he's the GOAT.
Oh, I got so much hate for Jay-Z for so long, for years actually. I remember being a kid listening to y'all play Jay-Z all the time, and I had some hate. I had some bottled up hate for this man, so I'm ready for that.
So this is what I'm saying. To me, the best analysis of any of these things is the head-to-head matchup. Is my personal opinion, over stats, because especially when you're comparing, that's why I don't like comparing different eras and stuff like that. But when you have a head-to-head matchup, it's like boom, that's the proof is in the pudding right there.
Yeah, I don't agree. Head-to-head is so different. The only time head-to-head matters is if it's a head-to-head sport, like tennis.
Well, basketball's not a head-to-head sport? What do you mean?
We crapped all over Drew Brees for head-to-head choking. And now you saying head-to-head don't matter?
That's not head-to-head. Drew Brees, okay, there's a difference between...
The only reason that Eli Manning is considered a great quarterback is because of his head-to-head beating Tom Brady. Twice.
Yeah, I mean, if people give him credit for that, I don't give him... I mean, the defense was the star of that team. They are the ones who held Tom Brady to 14 points and 17 the next time.
Yeah, but Eli is the one that threw that pass against the helmet,
Hey, man, sometimes you get lucky, and that's what it takes to win.
Exactly.
It's luck. So that's why I say head-to-head that's not a real thing in a team sport to me.
See, this is why I feel like you just move the goalposts wherever you want.
Keep moving goalposts, man. In basketball, when I'm guarding you and you guarding me, it's not a defense. It's me against you, or it's our team against your team. Many times, LeBron guards the best player in certain situations.
For sure.
LeBron was getting backed down by Jason Terry, getting owned by Jason Terry in the finals. Can't be the GOAT. Can't be my GOAT. Not my GOAT.
That's phony GOAT.
Hey, man. I'm not going to argue about it, but yeah. I mean, I can understand why you say that. But yeah, basketball is different. Yeah, when you can guard the other player one-on-one, but most of the time, especially nowadays, you don't see that happening. Like Steph Curry's not.
It's only in the clutch. Only at certain. Oh no, not Steph Curry. He can.
Steph Curry's never doing. That's what I'm saying.
And that's why I don't.
Players.
That's why I don't have Steph Curry.
Yeah. Basketball's a two-way game. It's not. You can't just.
I don't have him that high. They always
okay, so is offense and defense 50-50 on your rating scale too? Is it half? Like each one of them are equally as important?
No, it's about
it's like 75, 25 or something like that.
I don't even know if it's that. It's just if you're great, you could be great on both. Jordan was great on both sides of the ball. Kobe was great on both sides of the ball. I mean, there's tons of people that
Elijah was good on both sides of the ball.
Huh?
Yeah. Kevin Durant is good on both sides.
Yeah, Kevin Durant is good on both sides.
Many other players are good on both sides of the ball.
So Curry, this is why Curry will never, to me, get in that top 10 because the people who are in that top 10 are great on both sides of the ball.
Klay Thompson on his team was great on both sides of the ball.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you ain't got to tell. I don't like Steph Curry, so I don't care. I'm with you. I don't think he's that great, but I mean, not that great, but top 10 great.
Right. We're not saying that he's trash. We're saying he's not top 10 great.